Hi and welcome to the YouTube channel for DiscoverYourLifeToday.com. My name is Maveen Kaura. I'm going to be talking today about how to handle angry customers and overcome objections. You can find a little bit more about this article at DiscoverYourLifeToday.com/handle angry customers. What we're going to do is actually go over the 7 ways to resolve the customer's issue. Go over them right now. We'll get into them a little bit more into detail as the video continues. So number 1 is get into help mode. Number 2 is apologize and commit to solving the customer's problem. Number 3 is listen and have empathy. Number 4, confirm that you understand the problem and ask if there's any additional concerns that they have. Number 5, ask follow-up questions and see if you can find a solution to their problem. Number 6, have a polite close if you're not able to solve the problem right away, and let them know that you'll follow up with them. And number 7 is follow up with the customer. This is the most important step. So let's get started in this. What I do ask you to is grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen, get your Evernote, open up your Word document if you're on your computer or laptop, and let's start taking some notes. And if there's something here helpful, remember to leave a comment and let me know what was the most helpful thing for you. So when you're ready, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to be doing is how to deal with unhappy customers. If you're in any kinds of sales, we've always come across an unhappy customer. This is always going to happen, no matter what product, service, or you're selling in your business. If that's retail or if that's your own personal entrepreneur business. Some customers get mad, and what they typically do is take to social media. They'll make a video, they'll write a Facebook comment or whatnot, and then they'll let thousands of people know about their bad experience. But before they do that, they'll typically come into your place of business and try to bring that up with you and have their issue resolved. If they're not able to get their issue resolved, sometimes they will go to these different places and post it on Twitter and whatnot and try to get their issues resolved, because they feel if they tell enough people, maybe they'll boycott you, or you'll actually reach out to this person to help them find a solution. Some of us, when we're faced with angry customers, when they come in, we want to get angry back at them. We want to yell at them. But this is not how we handle it as a professional. What we need to do is provide good customer service. Good salespeople do not take anger personal when it comes from the customer. Instead, they try to detach themselves from the situation and really just listen to what the customer has to say. They don't get involved emotionally, and they don't allow their senses to be involved either. What they do is they really just try to listen and see how they can help. That's the sign of a great salesperson. Every salesperson is going to view customer service differently, and so is every customer. No matter, we've all, as salespeople, we have been salespeople, as well as salespeople. We've also been on the other side where we've been the customer, and we go into stores and we expect the same level of service that we are giving as well when we are in the sales position. It all comes down to what the customer perspectives are and what the customer's expectations are. Now, an angry customer is bad for business. Did you know that you can resolve the customer's issue without having to yell at them? Of course, I'm sure you did know that, because you probably do that already. What we need to do is get good at handling customer service and their expectations, and make sure that others are also doing it on our team. So what is the solution to helping angry customers get over their anger so we can handle their objections and hopefully have them leave our place of business happier than they first came in? I guess when a customer comes in angry, we have to make them feel comfortable that they're able to talk to us. We should take the time to understand what the problem is and take the time to find the right solution. Sometimes the right solution is not in the moment. Sometimes we do need to ask for a little bit more time so we can take that information, do a little bit of research, and find the right solution for the customer based on each circumstance. So dealing with angry customers. Why do customers get angry in the first place? I believe this happens when a product or service that they have purchased did not live up to the expectations that they were sold. So a lot of times what salespeople do is they'll give the answers of what the product can do for the customer, but instead some people will actually tell them a little bit more, or they'll fib about what the product can do. What happens sometimes is the customer really may not understand how to use that product, and sometimes it really just comes down to helping the customer understand how that product can be used. Excuse me. They believe that if they go in and if their issue is not resolved, that they can then go onto the social media websites. So now the problem is sometimes not every customer will come in because they believe that their situation will not be handled the way they want it to be handled if they do come in. So a lot of them don't come in, they just start telling people, don't worry about going to this company, they don't really help you or whatnot, but even though they've never been in to be helped. Our job is when they do come in is to help resolve the issue and continue to build the reputation of our company, because we want to ensure that the reputation of our company stays high in the minds of everybody. So how to turn angry customers to loyal ones. Remember, your job is to find them a solution. It's not necessarily going to be a solution that's going to make them happy every single time, but your job is to find a solution that your company can do or you can do to help satisfy their wants and needs. You cannot do this if you're not listening to what the customer has to say, so make sure you're listening to what the customer is saying and taking notes whenever possible. You need to listen and ask the right questions and build that relationship and build that trust with your customer all over again, because again, if done right, this will happen. Now, one of the things that you may need to do is understand the different personality type that is in front of you. There are about 4 different personality types. I learned them in the colors scheme, so red, blue, yellow, and green. Red being the more direct person, give it to me as it is, don't give me the fluff, The blue being a little bit more analytical type person. The yellow being a little bit more bubbly, a little bit more happy. Typically when this person's coming in, they may not start like that, but as they calm down, they may start getting a little bit more bubbly and a little bit more excited and back to their normal self. Green is the 4th one. The green is, is a person that says, show me you love me before I give you anything about myself. If you kind of understand these 4 personality types, then you'll understand what kind of questions you'll have to ask each customer so you can build that loyalty back from your customer base. So let's get into the 7 steps that will help us resolve the customer's issue and overcome their objectives. Number 1, like I said, was think about helping the customer. Prepare to be working with angry customers every single day. Not saying that you should expect angry customers to come in, but be ready when they are going to come in, because the more you're ready, the more the customer will trust you, because you'll be professional in the way you handle just the opening situation. With confidence, you project that you're projecting. Your customer will say, this person I'm working with can probably handle my situation, and they're going to be able to help me, and they're more likely to want to work with you. Your attitude should be display an eagerness to want to help your customer and all customers. You have to use positive words and positive body language and positive tones in your voice and show the customer that you are going to be willing to help this person. One of the things that you can do is, you can apologize to your customer that this happened. Now, you're not taking responsibility. All you're doing is saying, I'm sorry that this happened, and let me see what I can do to help you moving forward. Without realizing it, if you have a good attitude, your angry customer will eventually start mirroring your actions because you're calm, you're positive, you have a good soft voice, and they're gonna automatically, as soon as their body starts reacting to the way you are, start taking into that less defensive posture. Most important is do not argue with the customer or client. You're never going to win the argument. The client is always going to win, and always go tell other people what kind of people are at your company and the type of people that other people have to work with and deal with, right? So this means if you start arguing with your customer, over time you can potentially lose thousands and thousands of dollars in sales because you are not able to control yourself. So again, do not argue with your customer. You will not win. Number 2, again, apologize and commit to resolving the problem. So I got a little bit ahead when I said apologize, but this is where you want to apologize after you have given a positive attitude that shows that you want to help. You know, a lot of times we have to understand that the idea of the apology is to just help let the customer understand that we know that they're unhappy, that we want to do the best we can do and take control of the situation as quick as possible until we can go ahead and resolve that situation. Be a professional salesperson and customer service expert. You are the sales agent. So even if you didn't sell the client that particular product or service, they are now with you, and you have to help them as if you were the one who sold them that. Now, if that person that did sell them that is the person that the customer wants to speak to, absolutely, have that person come in and help. If that person is busy, ask if you can go ahead and help in their place. Ask the customer to tell you what they're angry about or what the problem is with the product or service, and listen. That's the next thing. Listen when they speak, and have some empathy when they speak as well. When we listen to what the customer is saying, we're just saying, look, your frustrations are important to us and our company, and we want to take the time to understand what is bothering you, because again, if this has happened to one customer, this may happen to another customer. So sometimes the angry customer is really good for business because they can help you understand where your product or service may be lacking, or where the technique of the sale can be lacking as well. When you listen to your customer, you need to understand the customer wants to express their anger and find a solution. Okay, so make sure you're making eye contact with the customer when you are listening to what they have to say. Keep your body language positive and show that you understand what they're saying. It is important not to have negative body language, so don't just smile and shrug your shoulders and cross your arms. If you do these things, you are showing a negative body language that can also be defensive, posturing to what the customer is thinking. They may think you're not taking them importantly and what they're saying important at all. When you listen, you should be taking notes if possible. That way, the customer does not have to repeat themselves. And then you show the customer what they're saying to you is so important that you want to make sure you capture all the important aspects of what they're saying. The part of number 3 is also listening and having empathy. The empathy part is when the customer is telling their story to you, allow yourself to feel what the customer is saying. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. You can agree with what they're saying. Again, this does not mean you're taking responsibility or saying, you did do something wrong or you didn't do something wrong. All you're saying is you understand their perspective of what they are saying. As soon as a customer has had an opportunity to vent what they're saying and really just get off their chest and mind what they need to say, you'll typically find that their anger levels start to drop, because now they finally have somebody to listen to them. Because what they've done is, on the drive to where you are, they've probably just worked themselves up into more of an angry situation, and now they just need to let it all out. And once they've had an opportunity to have you listen to them, typically they'll be a lot calmer, and they'll be able to listen to you when now your turn is to start speaking. Once you're a little bit more calm, it is time to move to the next step, which is number 4. Confirm that you understand what the customer is saying and determine and find out if there's any other concerns they have. So when you're confirming, use the notes that you've written down, and use those notes to repeat what the customer said. Make sure you understand, summarize what the customer is saying, and see if find out if you've missed anything. Allow them to expand on what you may have missed. Okay, and find out if there's any other concerns. Typically what happens is ask them, say, is there anything else that we've missed based on what we just talked about? If it is, allow them to talk about that, take some notes on that as well. Again, ask them again once they're done. the last thing you want to do is have them miss an important step, and you get past this number 4 step, and you get to number 5 and number 6, and they say, right, I just remembered something, we need to talk about this. This means you need to restart the whole process over again and then go through all these 7 steps all over. So the idea here is to find out if there's something that they've missed talking about, so we can deal with it now versus having to deal with it later. So once you've determined that there's no other things that the customer wants to talk about, ask the right questions and start looking for solutions to those issues. If you're going to solve the customer's issue, you need to understand what resolutions are available to you as a sales agent or as a manager, depending on what position you're listening to this from. If you do not have the tools to solve your problems yourself, you may need to go higher up in the chain to see if you can get somebody to help you. Okay, this is not the place to start offering solutions. It's really, you want to see what they want. So, as a salesperson, sometimes you just say, yeah, you know what, just take another product, go home, be done, let's exchange it. That's not necessarily the answer the customer is looking for. Find out from them, what is it they exactly want to accomplish by coming in now that they've allowed their frustrations to be heard. Sometimes they may just say, you know what, I'm just looking for a replacement. I just need this one little part replaced. Maybe they need someone to come back and take a look or re-estimate. Who knows what the situation is, but let them start with a solution before you start offering solutions. Sometimes what happens is the salesperson will offer a higher solution than the customer is actually looking for. If you're not able to help with the solutions that you have, or after the customer's had an opportunity to tell you, you may want to go ask a customer to come over and help you. I find what works best is at this point, now that the customer's had an opportunity to tell you everything that's on their mind, thank them for coming in. Tell them that you're going to take this information to your manager. Again, point at your notes and let them know. Say, all these notes here, I'm going to review these with my manager. Ask the customer for their full name, spelling, their phone number, and tell them that you're going to discuss the options that you have talked about, as well as what the customer has brought to you, and then you're going to reach out to them with a solution. This is part of the next step, is the polite close. So once you have said that, number 6 is it's not a long process. What it is just make sure you apologize again. Hey, sorry for what happened. Do not summarize what was said again in your notes. All you're doing is thanking the customer for coming in and allowing them to tell you what the problem was. A lot of times, if you don't thank the customer for coming in and letting them know, they are not likely to go back to your business or any other business and let those businesses know, because they don't feel comfortable that they have the right to go in. But they do have the right as a customer to go in and express how they feel. Now, this was the most important step. Let yourself share any concerns with them that you may have as well, but don't get negative. Be positive and understand, and help them understand that you're going to do your best by taking their concerns to your management. Number 7 is the follow-up step. Now, this step is the most important step in the whole process. It's also the step that's the most dropped step in the customer service part here. A lot of people forget to call the client back. And this is unbelievable, because you've gone through a whole 6-step process and told the client you're going to call them back, and now you forgot to do it. Because you follow up with your customer, because I know you will, because you're a great sales agent, you're going to have the ability to win more customers over, more angry customers over, and because you're handling of their objections and objectives, you are also going to potentially be able to close more sales, because they say, you know what, that sales agent that I just worked with is a great sales agent. They listened to me, they listened to my concerns. You know what, yeah, sure, I had some problems, but they were able to help me and find a solution. So that person was most likely going to do business with you again, or going to send other people to do business with you as well. When you call your customer, call them the next day. Sometimes what happens is now that the customer's had an opportunity to leave, they've had an opportunity to kind of relax, they're not as angry anymore, and sometimes they understand, their anger was maybe out of place, and when you offer the solution that you phoned with, they're going to be more likely to accept it. If they're not able to accept your decision, what you've talked about with your manager, if they kind of give you some pushback, stick to your guns and stick to what your manager has talked about. Sometimes the customer really does understand that is the final solution, but what they try to do is push back a little bit and say, let me talk to the manager. I want to see what they have to say. All they're doing is maybe looking for a second opinion, or maybe someone to listen to them again, and what they're looking for is have the person tell them the exact same answer that we gave them. Sometimes they don't like to hear the answer from the sales level. They want to move up the chain and listen to maybe a manager tell them the exact same answer. If you do this exact step, call them, help them, and stick to your guns, in the long term, your customer service will pay dividends. I guarantee it. Thank you for tuning in to DiscoverYourLifeToday.com YouTube channel. My name again was Maveen Kaura. You can find me at DiscoverYourLifeToday.com. Find out a little bit about me on my About page. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also like this video. Of course, please share it on different platforms if you do feel that other people on these platforms can also benefit from this video and the information in here. If you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment. Other than that, I hope you have yourself a wonderful day and are able to help angry customers and help them get over and increase your sales. Thank you so much.